Hello angel babies, welcome or welcome back. My name is Trisha and this is Trisha's Temple. Thanks for being here. I have a little bit of a vulnerable share moment / update. So if you're not interested in that, go ahead and skip forward to the reading. I started this channel for many reasons, but one of those is to help myself unravel from a lot of perfectionism that I have developed over the years from being raised in a high demand religion and for a number of the systems and cultural practices that say you have to be a certain way to be good enough, to be lovable. And I have done a lot to, as one of my OCD books says, to start to live more of a C- life. That when I go to post something or just do something in my life in general, and I'm like, oh no, like it's not good enough, then I just do it anyway. For myself and maybe for somebody else who's witnessing it and saying, oh, like she's doing it and it's messy and it's not perfect, but she's still showing up. And my last video, I realized part of the audio was missing. And I didn't realize that until after I had posted it, which is kind of a big deal for me because usually I would be like checking every tiny little detail a million times over before I even considered sharing it with anybody. And then I proceeded to check some of my other videos that I had pre-filmed and realized that they were also missing the audio. So yesterday I threw a really big tantrum because I have invested a lot of myself in that work, especially like this archetype project that I've been working on for a while now. And it may not seem like a big deal to anybody else, but it does to me. It's special to me. It's been helping me, like I said, unravel all of these pieces of me that have been kind of trapped inside of my body and to let them have a space to breathe. And I hope that even to this small audience that I'm so grateful for, that you might find a part of yourself here. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I think that this creative process, I wish that there were more people talking about the part that isn't the like, oh, now I'm really successful. Like the whole journey to getting to be the person who's on stage or really successful, that whole process is really messy. Honestly, everything about being a human is really messy and uncomfortable, and we have certain parts of ourselves that we feel like we're allowed to present to the general public or just to anyone, even ourselves sometimes, like, oh, I can't even have like normal bodily functions or share the fact that I am angry or scared or overwhelmed by the fact that the world is not what I thought it would be at this stage of my life, or it's not turning out the way that I expected. It's not how I wanted it to be. It's not meeting my expectations. So anyway, I am I'm feeling very frustrated and sad, and I wanted to share that with you. That today I am refilming a video that I've already filmed, and I was very excited to share with you. But I'm also looking forward to see what will come out instead. So two things can be true. Today we're going to meet the Siren Oracle. And I got a new deck, Sisters of the Sea. This archetype to me has meant being someone who senses energy. And I mean that when you would go into a room, or even being separated from people that you care about, it's like you have this tether between you and that person, or you and animals, plants, the energy of your home. You can sense the vibrations of the earth, and you're reading all of these different like little calibrations of how things are shifting and flowing, and you may not have always been super aware of how this was happening or the extent to which you were able to do this. It might have been more of a background information. But I think that you're coming to be more conscious of this gift that you have. The Siren Oracle is very in tune with this gift, and she uses it for the benefit of herself and others. Of course, we have the like more devious interpretations of a siren, like luring men to their deaths, or manipulation. And if that's more of a shadow aspect of this gift, being able to influence people in more malicious ways. But it also has such a power to support you and others in understanding the deeper aspects of existence. So let's look more at the origin of this gift of yours. How did it come to be? Why is it that you have this emotional and intuitive sensitivity? We have the Mermaid's Familiar. Let's read about it. Number 4. Witches have their familiars, their wild ones who choose to become part of the family, creating an unbreakable magical bond, one that endures lifetimes. So too do mermaids. They share their lives with diverse beings of the seas, who accompany them on their journeys to learn or to share, to discover and to protect. Spiritkin, who, if these wild ones choose, and if it be their destinies, join with their mermaids to help create greater healing as more powerful sea songs that drive the shape of the world. A mermaid is more than just herself when she is with her familiar. They are a part of her soul. For yes, unlike the old tales and their lies, mermaids are ensouled beings. And this is for all beings upon the blue and green planet, including the stones and the moss. They all sing with sentience and intelligence. The sacred world of sea beings is calling you, and you will find a creature of the ocean is speaking with you at this time. Look to your life for your own familiar, and if you do not have one, consider the song and the calling that will introduce you, one to the other, and forge a bond indivisible. You will know them when you continually encounter the same being in accidental day-to-day meetings, in dreams or in visions. This is a mystery that cannot be controlled, but when the familiar comes, it will be as if the part of your soul has never sung before, has learned its song. Joyously, it will ring out into the world. Your spirit and mind can be transformed, and the aloneness you have felt can dissolve. You are not alone. Your familiar is calling you. Will you call them to you? So something that was coming up while I was reading that is that you might have some level of insecurity around this sensitivity, or that you may have had that insecurity in the past. I think that it's kind of an ongoing something that you're always working with. And meeting a familiar, meeting your soul tribe, meeting people who match your depth and your sensitivity, meet it with love and compassion and resonance instead of resistance or fear or try to fix it or change it or tell you that there's something wrong with you. You will have more of an understanding of the depth of this sensitivity. That you're meeting more of yourself in other people. And it's not that you weren't valid in your existence before, but it's also okay to want a level of recognition, to not have your life go unwitnessed. To not be the only one to be giving of energy and also be receiving of recognition and support. That this relationship is very symbiotic and supportive. I have my, this stuffy right here that she's weighted. Her name is Geode. And maybe you have a stuffy, maybe you have an actual animal. But I feel like speaking to your animal, speaking to your friends, speaking to the energy of your home, and allowing yourself to connect. It's reminding me, when I was a kid, I used to like worry about my plates getting offended because I was like only using one of them that I liked a lot more than the other ones. I was like, I'm sorry, like don't, like I still care about you. And then I would like start like a rotation so that they wouldn't be offended. Or like same thing with like cups or utensils. And I would worry about like this one baby doll that I had because it kind of scared me, and so I'd like go and put it on the couch out in my living room and be like, I still love you, like kiss it on the head, but I didn't want it looking at me while I was sleeping. Maybe you were similar to me in that way and had some sort of connection to the energy of your toys and to other inanimate objects, and you're remembering that about yourself and allowing it to be this gift of yours. Noticing the way that you interact with everything and how it then feeds or like gives back to you. Like I pour love into the energy of my home, and then it pours love back to me. Okay. Where in your life are you taking on or holding emotions that are not fully yours? I think that one of the biggest challenges of having a gift like the Siren Oracle is that kind of merging of energy. I think that everyone can experience that level of like codependency, but it's especially potent or palpable when you are a highly sensitive person. Okay. I have the tranquil place and to let go with grace. Okay. So what came up with this one is that noticing how you feel when you are alone and getting very familiar with your own energy is a good baseline for how you feel when you are around other people. And if your nervous system, if your energy is disrupted or heightened, there's a bug crawling on my floor. If your energy is spiking or dipping or feels like very frantic around in certain spaces, around certain people, and how difficult it is to bring yourself back to center after you've been around or in those places. And it's not to say that, oh, because I felt a bit more activated in that space, it's inherently bad. It's more so like, can I still stay connected to myself? Can I participate in this space and remain a part of my own system instead of feeling like I'm just fully morphing into this space. And allowing yourself to take those moments of cleansing and grounding and recharging yourself so that you can then integrate yourself more with the spaces and places and people and opportunities that feel aligned with you. Let's read about To Let Go with Grace. $35. The sea keeps her secrets, but she releases them without hesitation. Through all of her ebbs, she does not hold on to what is no longer hers to hold. To the sea and to the beings of the sea, the dance of the Great Mother's cauldron is a graceful shift from what is growing, what is held, what is ebbing, and what is released. And with this card and with this mermaid, it may be time for you, child of the sea, to release with grace something that will be able to live on without you. It may be the right time to let a child have more independence, to let your hands that hold tightly to those clinging onto life, or just to ideas whose time is not now. It is an opening, a quiet release, a knowing that to hold on could be to force or imprison. To the children of the ocean and the daughters of the waves, that would be as close to a sin as these creatures could conjure. Hold tight, and you could find that the tight grasp hurts more than the satisfaction of keeping. Besides, the keeping of what wishes to be free is not love, not truly. So now, take a deep breath, feel within your body, your hands, your belly, whatever it is that seeks its freedom. And with the out breath, open those hands and let it flow where it will. It may not be that it leaves, but in this space, you make with the release a closer weaving than ever before can be made between you and what you once held so tightly. And besides, only a vessel with space can truly hold water, never the clasped hand or the grasping heart. I think both of these cards are saying a similar thing, that when you become familiar with your own energy, it becomes more clear what doesn't belong to you, and you're able to let go of things that feel misaligned. And as this card was saying, it's like that saying of like, if something was yours or is yours, it will come back to you, and if it wasn't, then like let it go anyway. That was definitely not how it goes, but I think you know what I mean. And you will start to feel yourself feeling more and more rejuvenated, energized, because you're not holding on to things that aren't yours anyway. You're not trying to attach yourself to things or fix things or worry about things that belong to other people, that are other people's responsibility. Okay. How can you begin to distinguish between what you are feeling and what you are sensing from others? So I feel like this is like just a deeper clarifying question from what we were already talking about. And we might get more about the specific areas of your life where this might be happening, where there's a blurring of the lines. To whom was she given? We've got some titties, so I'm going to cover those. To whom was she given? Let's read this one. Number 20. To whom was she given? This mermaid is resigned to her fate. She is to be given in union to a being she does not know, and it seems she moves, albeit slowly and reluctantly, to something she feels she must do. For her, there seems to be no choice, no other way. There are moments in life that seem inescapable, as if the choice of others, family and culture, carry more importance, or that they know better, and to keep their favor, we go through the motions. She feels vulnerable, and yet she is far from defeated. From the corner of one sea green eye appears a route that offers an alternative. She begins to see that within every seemingly inevitability there is a choice. She has glimpsed the possibility of what she can make of this fate, and she will bend destiny to her own vision of how her life shall unfold. Like you do at times, she seems obedient. She seems to accept, but she does not, and nor do you. For this mermaid is in the deepest form of rebellion, the one where all her powers and intelligence align in the creation of a life of fulfillment. Even while it seems all paths lead her to a place of restriction, she will not be bound. She will find her freedom, and she will create a better world for herself and for others like her, because of the action she takes. This is the possibility before you. You may give in for now, but you will never, ever give up. Perhaps one way that you can more clearly distinguish between... Honestly, I feel like these questions were kind of reversed in the way that they were answered. One area of your life that may be holding emotions that don't belong to you is in some of the traditions of your past, in some of the expectations that people have had of you, whether that be a religious system, family, schooling, work, romantic relationship, friendship, whatever feels like it's holding on to you too tightly. I think we were talking about you letting go, but if there's a space that feels like it's holding on to you very tightly and keeping you restricted from a full expression of self, or making you feel like you are getting smaller or losing pieces of yourself, there may be some level, like this card says, of kind of an acceptance, or like leaning in, acknowledging that that's happening to begin with. And like that's the first step, like they say in, what is it, like the 12-step program, where they say acceptance or acknowledging that you have a problem is the first step. So maybe you are in a work situation and you recognize that it's not where you want to be, but you can't just immediately quit your job. You have to look for something else or figure out what your next plan is. Maybe you have a plan for how you are going to move out of the place that you are currently in, but you can't do it immediately. So there's kind of this tension between what's going to happen and where you are right now. And you're acknowledging that there's kind of this rebellion and resistance energy building up within you to help you make that big step. An example, like more specifically, if you are in the process of like actually physically moving from one house to another, is doing little things that would make that process more seamless. Like, packing boxes, getting rid of things that you don't want to take to the next place, selling things. It might not feel like you are moving in the direction that you want to, in the way that you want to, but it might help some of that energy to move. You might have really big hopes and dreams for what you want for yourself. And if you are able to kind of just do the very next thing that is actually attainable to you right in this moment, that might help. Interesting things that are coming out right now. What happens when you remain too open or too attuned for too long? How are you becoming more aware of this? Okay, we have the Sea Spirit's message. When you become too attuned, when you spend a lot of time just being very open to other people's energy, or just like always showing up for them, always being attuned to them. Oh, I turned back to the beginning. I think it's similar answer to what we had already talked about. You don't have people, when you don't have people supporting you, then you become drained. Okay. For some time, this mermaid has sought to communicate with those who are in need of her messages. She has sent out feelings and thoughts. She has seen into the sea crystals that show her glimpses of what is to come, and she has shared and shared and shared. Still, she seeks to connect, encourage, guide, and reveal what is coming, and yet she feels the cries and the hurt. She can sense the abandonment so many are experiencing as they wander through their worlds, bouncing from event to event, pushed about by fate, swept away by waves generated by forces they feel are so much bigger than they are. Yet she stays still, deep within the psyches and consciousness of so many, and she sends forth another message, and the message is for you, sweet child of the sea. She assures you that you are seen by the elementals and the precious ones. You are cared for and you do matter. You are not insignificant, like all the knife-sharp lies have told you, and which you repeat to yourself when the world feels too full of pain. She urges you to find your people, to build connections. So often you are being sent messages, but you are not allowing yourself to acknowledge them, for you are too focused on the problems that beset you. You are here, they are here with you, the mer beings, and they can cleanse you of the pain. Let them come, even in the shape of tears, laughter, and movement sinking deeply into the soul, and find there the treasures they know are within you. As someone who is deeply intuitive, someone who is very connected to the energy of other people and the earth itself, you feel all of it, not just the wonderful good things. You also feel the depth of people's pain. And you might use that as a reason to give people a pass, even when they have hurt you again and again. Even when you aren't seeing evidence that they are accepting of the love that you are offering them. I think this card is reminding you, just as we spoke about in the beginning, to find people that are able to receive your love and who can offer that love to you in return, and to open yourself up to it. I was listening to something the other day, and the conversation was about allowing things, the positive things, to truly touch your heart deeply and to fill you and sustain you. And then for like negative or hurtful, hateful things to have more of a kind of like an intellectual, or just like, do I actually find any value in this? To separate the mud from the water. And you may have had a lot of wounding in the past from relationships where people were taking advantage of your sensitivity, or where you were just open because that's your way of being. And I don't think that that's something that you need to change about yourself by any means. But now you are recognizing how to be open for people who can receive that openness, receive that depth. And it's not to say that you will never offer kindness or sincerity to people who are still very attached to their wounds and shadows and want to be in pain. But you won't be doling out your love in an effort to be like the emotional ambulance, the emotional caretaker, the emotional on-call service for anyone who comes along and demands it of you. Your boundaries are shifting so that you will not spend so much time burnt out and have more to give to yourself. Okay, let's shift over to these tarot cards. How can you allow your emotions to move and be expressed without suppressing them or becoming overwhelmed by them? And I think first and foremost, the answer is it's a constant practice. It's a constant dance. The ebb and the flow, the rise and the fall of the waves. And that it's not a matter of, I don't know, I used to be really obsessed with the idea of equilibrium and tranquility or temperance, and imagined myself being just like this perfect little, not a monk, but like just always regulated, always in control of my emotions. And I think that too is a trap. That trying to keep everything reined in and controlled and under the surface then traps the emotion. Okay, we have the Six of Cups. There's a lot coming up today about reciprocity, about giving and receiving, and allowing the energy to truly flow between you and the earth, instead of allowing it to be so compacted or compressed within you, that you're allowing it to move. So that might look like finding ways to physically move, walking, yoga, biking, whatever movement looks like for you, breath work, a punching bag. All of the action, like all of our verbs, are a way of moving energy. And the more intentional that you are about it, the more that you're focused on, all right, I would like to release this particular thing with this action, or I would like to infuse my magic, my love, my care, my creation into this action, the more that it will occur. And I think that that is one of the big ways that you are becoming less overwhelmed by and keeping them from being so suppressed, contained, that you're realizing you have a lot more options than just putting a tight lid on it until it overflows without your consent. That it can be, I will intentionally use this emotion, this energy, this magic of mine for this purpose. And that it will look messy sometimes, and that's okay too. What does it look like to create boundaries around your awareness and attention? Again, this is another one where I personally had an incorrect belief system that I would have a lot of people tell me that my stomach is gurgling, that you had to like control your thoughts, or that, you know, like the whole idea of like meditation and mindfulness and stuff. And like I got it to some extent, but I was like, yeah, but like I have so many thoughts all the time. Like how am I possibly supposed to control those? And like they're just always coming in. That's like saying, it's like the whole like drinking from a fire hose thing. Like I can't, like I would have to just find the source of it and turn it off, and I don't know where that is. I don't think that I have that power. Anyway, the Page of Cups. I think that what you're coming to see is it's okay to be in kind of that like childlike, curious, beginner state with your emotional awareness. That you don't have to, like I talked about earlier, be some monk or have perfect control over your emotions or your thoughts or your like nervous system regulation. That it's more so about offering yourself an opportunity to choose when you notice something is uncomfortable. Like, you know, I'm not really having fun in this loop right now. Wonder if I could try something different. And if that occurs to you in the moment, that's awesome. If it doesn't, try again next time. Perhaps it's about putting less pressure on yourself to follow a strict set of rules, dogma, like, oh, I have to follow this exact structure on how to meditate or write in my journal or anything like that, and more so a curiosity and an experimentation of, hey, like, that wasn't super comfortable. I didn't enjoy that very much. I wonder how it would feel if I tried it like this, with this different variable included. So perhaps the boundaries that you're creating around your awareness have less to do with you creating some like harsh lines in the sand of like, you may not cross here thought, and more so, I wonder if I create this set of circumstances, this environment for myself, if it's easier for me to feel less resistance or have a more peaceful mind. And that you notice, hey, like in this certain environment, I was feeling very, very overwhelmed. And maybe I can't avoid that all the time, but it's interesting to note. Maybe I can build up some level of, maybe I can create some sort of support for myself in that space. Yeah. What rituals or environments help you return to yourself and feel grounded in your own emotional space? So this is, again, feeling like whatever it is that maybe you have some specific goal or a place that you're trying to leave or something you're moving towards. But it could also just be just in your day-to-day of trying to create more consistency for yourself, more safety. More regulation, but not in a militant way, more in a I know I can look forward to this way. I know that when I wake up in the morning, I can be excited to get out of bed for this morning ritual of my favorite tea, or sitting in the sun curled up in a nice chair reading my favorite book or something. Listening to some great songs in the shower. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, this feels like some really, this is a place where you are going to be operating in more of your full emotional power. So perhaps there are places where you feel a little bit out of your depth. Like maybe there's a particular environment that you are trying to step out of your comfort zone. And when you're there, you don't feel fully adequate, or you feel a little bit topsy-turvy, dysregulated. But there are some places in your life, and these rituals will be those. Perhaps they are, something is coming up about like flowers, maybe you're planting a garden, or you like to make bouquets. Getting your hands dirty in some way, or just like involving more of your senses in something. Finding ways that feel like you and you don't have to hide yourself in any way. It's like a full expression of yourself. And that the more of those spaces that you can create in your life, the easier it will be to bring that energy into some of those less comfortable places, like a work environment or building a new community, even just in your day-to-day interactions with random people on the street. You'll start to be able to carry that energy with you more consistently. What is the deeper wisdom or gift of your sensitivity? The deeper wisdom or gift. Holy moly. Okay. I think there might be quite a bit. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Lovers. This is quite an expansive spread of energy. And what's coming to my mind is that this sensitivity, it might feel like it's restricted you, or it only has the purpose of emotional connection or deep processing, that it's only related to one specific area of your life. But it's actually deeply rooted in every area of your life. And you may have already started to see that it's connected to your relationship. It's connected to your intelligence. It's connected to your passion, your fire, your energy for life. It's connected to your vision for your future and how you view like being propelled into like the next phase of your life. Your dreams, your plans, your imagination. It's a part of things that may not have yet manifest and things that already have, but you may not have given credit to them yet. You're starting to piece together how this depth, this rich processing that you're capable of is like weaving together this beautiful tapestry, this beautiful connection of who you are as a person. Your Siren Oracle gifts are starting to flow more naturally from you the more you acknowledge them and give them space to breathe. In these Queen of Cups rituals that you create for yourself. And you might not think of something that you do like playing video games as a ritual, but it is. It's all of the little things that feel like you, where you come alive, where you feel tapped into your senses and are able to just be soft, you don't have to pretend or hide. And the wisdom that you're gaining is kind of almost like a connect the dots, where you're going back through moments in your life where you have felt that way, you have felt really alive or awake or safe, sensitive to yourself. Interesting way of putting that. Connected to yourself. And bringing more of that energy into your life now to then be able to express that outwards. There's a phrase that says something like authenticity breeds more authenticity. Something that I like to say. That the more you step into that, the more power and permission you give to others to do the same. And that's what I have for you today. Thanks for being here. If you would like to stick around, I'd love that. Love you. Bye.